Marriage equality is a wonderful thing, and we're all excited about it. We've fought so long and so hard for it, and it's been a battle hard won. But now, within the state, as well as the city of Cleveland, there are still some inequalities that need to be addressed. In particular, the non-discrimination policy still has some very discriminatory language in it that jeopardizes the transgender community's ability to live equally and freely in the city. And so we're really hoping that we can get 1446-13 passed by City Council and approved by the mayor.
Yeah, safety for transgender individuals within restrooms specifically is a very complex issue within the city of Cleveland, and the fact that we have a city that is willing to work with us in order to get equal protections for the transgender community, especially trans women, and the fact that not only is there an epidemic right now with transgender women being murdered, but a lot of it has to do with safety issues. And restrooms are so important for folks within the transgender community. For me to walk into a restroom in a woman's room simply because I was born female is unacceptable. I need to be able to safely walk into a men's room and know that the city is behind me. Know that the city has said, yes, Jake, we recognize that you are a man and we recognize and honor that value, and you need to use the men's restroom. And so the city of Cleveland really needs to work harder so that we can get these protections passed, because it's not just a matter of a desire to, it's a safety issue.
I think next for equality in Cleveland, we need to pass Ordinance 1446 to give our transgender community the equal protection that they so rightly deserve.
1446 will eliminate language in the current non-discrimination ordinance that will not allow transgender people to go to the bathroom. It's offensive, it's a discrimination, and it's the only ordinance of its kind in the whole United States. So we are working with some city council people who will be here tonight, and hopefully in the fall we're going to pass 1446 and allow transgender people to use the bathroom that they're most comfortable with.
What's next for equality in Cleveland is, especially on the wave of Ordinance 1446 with bathroom policing that occurred at a rally this summer. I think first and foremost is the safety of the trans community in Cleveland, especially our trans people of color. There is so much, the violence towards trans women is increasing all across the nation. The death tolls are rising, and this is something that we must take action on now in our community to make sure that we don't experience the tragedies cities all across America are experiencing. And I think it's really important that we pay attention to these issues. And with issues like 1446, Cleveland is ready, but it also, we can't wait for ourselves to be ready. We have to ourselves take the action before it results in the death of people in our community.
I think that absolutely equality in Cleveland needs to focus on the intersections of race, sexuality, gender identity. Many people know that there is an absolute crisis, epidemic portions of trans women of color being murdered across the country. And we've had trans women of color murdered here. This needs to be a priority for the Cleveland community and everyone else across the United States. And I think that off the bat, that's the first thing that comes to mind. We also need to work on our anti-discrimination laws so that people can bring their married photos, since it's legal, to work and not be fired for being gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer.
I believe what's next for equality in Cleveland is that there is equity for transgender individuals. Right now, there's a non-discrimination ordinance addendum that says that transgender people are able to be discriminated against as far as public accommodations, and that's really not fair. And it's definitely affecting people's everyday lives, and we need to realize that that needs to change, and that people in our community need more support, and the majority people who are cisgender need to make that happen.
In Cleveland, we have an ordinance at City Council that's being considered, Ordinance 1446, to remove discriminating language out of a code for transgender people. And that's the next thing that we're really working on very hard with Cleveland City Council and the Mayor's Office. So that's what's next in Cleveland. In Ohio, we're one of 22 states that does not have non-discrimination protections in place. And so people don't know this, but you can be fired for being LGBT in Ohio. You can be denied a mortgage, kicked out of your apartment, denied service at a restaurant. It's all completely legal. And that is something that we really, really need to change. So we need everyone's help to do that in all the different ways that we can all help. So that's what's next for Cleveland and Ohio.
Equality Next in Cleveland means an all-inclusive non-discrimination bill that keeps credit, housing, and all forms of living equal for all people.
And I completely agree. That's where we need to be. We need to be safe at our workplace. We need to be safe at our homes. We need to be free from bullying. And that's what we need next.
The next thing for equality in Cleveland is transgender equality. Across the board, people who are transgender need to be recognized as the people they are, and we need to stop fussing around with bathrooms and legislation about who can do what with what, and just accept people who have struggled to come to accept themselves. And if they've gone through a process as difficult as that to make the transition, we should honor that and give them their space and a rightful place in the world.
What is next for equality in Cleveland? I would actually frame it differently. I would say the work continues, because we know that we have been working for fully inclusive non-discrimination protections at the state level here in Ohio for a very long time. We're going to continue that work at the state level, and we're really grateful for where Cleveland has come in that process. It has a pretty good non-discrimination code, but it could be better. So we are working with our partners here locally in Cleveland and nationally with HRC to pass Ordinance 1446, which would make the code fully, truly inclusive of our transgender community. That's the work that we continue and will continue until it's done.